Alright, welcome to my tutorial on the bone tool within Flash. It's the icon that looks like a dog bone. It kind of creates a skeletal system through a character. Now, obviously this tutorial associated with the Flash file in our first class folder. If you don't have the file, things to note when setting up your own file. This is my octopus, but this doesn't necessarily represent the clip right here. Actually, it's a symbol that's been selected as a video clip. So you can see the octopus is here, but also if you hit symbol 4, it's still in the gallery because I've converted it to a movie clip. In order to create a bone tool system, you need a couple things. You need to find your image first online or create your image, but it needs to be traced within Flash. If it's not traced within Flash, what I mean by that is you went to Modify, Convert to Bitmap, then Bitmap Trace Apart under this Bitmap menu. If it's not done that, then it will not be able to be flashed. So if I grab my octopus.ai file, I would have to modify, convert to bitmap, bitmap, trace, bitmap. And then I would be able to convert it to a video file clip, like I have for symbol 4, and I'd then be able to click inside of it and create a new layer of the animation of the octopus. When you are inside this layer, I sometimes draw a box over the whole octopus so it knows that I want to use the whole item. Grab my bone on the right hand side, click at the top of your image. Now, the first place you click represents, when stuff does that, represents the parent of the file. So if you think about puppeting, wherever your hand would be holding that puppet, that would be the parenting item, and everything kind of is jelly coming out from underneath that. So in this case, I could move these individual legs themselves, but if I move up here, everything below it will move as well. Okay, so the more pieces you have underneath it, the more movement you will have affected. And again, all these little joints represents where it could kind of squiggle if you were shaking a puppet. Now, as soon as I'm content with my bone tool, I'm done. I've created that it's there forever good. You'll know it's done if it says armature. The problem is, I have a green cell, but there's not really much I could do. I could select stuff and move it, but nothing is really going to be a full animation if there's no span of time. So if we know that 24 frames per second represents a second, I'm going to insert a frame to give me a 1 second life. What happens in 1 second span of the jellyfish, or the octopus? When you are using this, you do not insert a keyframe anywhere along here. Rather, wherever your time code is, let's say at 5 seconds or 5 frames, if I go to move my arm or my leg, I've now created a keyframe indicator. You again did not create one, it creates one for you based on all these actions. So I can kind of create my jellyfish kind of spread his arms up, and then maybe at 10 it goes back in. So I'd move my toe back up to 10, and I could kind of animate this. Now remember, if you move a joint above it, it affects more pieces because more things are connected. Okay, so if I move the top here, the jellyfish actually would move. Okay, and everything below it would move as well. Maybe at 15, comes back, and then at 20, maybe those arms come back into themselves, right? Alright, so if I'm happy with that, that's my little animation. I can slide over it and I see it happen. Ooh, fun. To get back to my scene, go to the very top of the tabs here and click scene 1. It takes me outside of it. If I move my time indicator, I don't see anything happening. The reason I see nothing happening is because it's a movie clip. I haven't outsourced the animation yet. What I'm going to do is just bring him on so you can see what I mean, that you actually see it when you outsource it. If you bring him onto the stage, because out here you won't see anything when you render it, bring him onto the stage, control, test scene, a pop-up window will occur where it's exported as an SWF file, and you'll be able to watch your animation repeat, okay? So it's getting to become interesting, still not there just yet. What I want to do is at frame 1, I want to start at the bottom right hand side there, and then at 100, I would like him to be at the top left. What I'm going to do is create a tween between the two by holding Shift, at frame 1 and shift to 100. Then I can right click and create a classic tween. Again, when I move my indicator, I will not see that internal animation, but I'll see that movement across. When I go to Control, Test Scene, you'll be able to see my full animation. Whoa, it looks a little more realistic too. Now something that's kind of cool, if I really wanted to go an extra step, is I could add a trail of bubbles behind it too. For those who don't know the bubble tool, it's kind of a particle tool. So if I wanted to make a new layer, I just want to show you this tool so you kind of have an idea of what it can do. I can actually add underneath the paintbrush, there's a tool called the Deco tool. And it is very fun because when you select the Deco and go to properties, you have these really cool options here. And I want you to just try and like explore a little bit of what you can do. There's tons of different options. Each selection at the top gives you a new list of options below. So there are waves and bubbles, hearts, kind of things that you can kind of navigate through. So I just want to show you how that works is if I actually start it once he's kind of moved in. Insert keyframe, and I can actually draw a trail coming out of him. Right. And it's cool because whatever item you choose, and I'll show you what different items look like, it would carry out of my character. Okay, and I think that's fun. So just so you know, that's there for you. So that's kind of it with making your animation look more alive with the bone tool. Enjoy!